glitchy to get us going. But welcome to episode 70 of Swiss Army Sports. I'm your host, Will Spain, former long snapper for the Troy Trojans, Osby Governors, and partially Houston Cougars. Joined by my side, former offensive lineman for the Hendricks College Warriors, current man of electricity, Luke the Nuke Wallman, and joined virtually from Hotlanta, Georgia, the former kicker for the Houston Christian Huskies and Troy Trojans, current nephew of Georgia Tech men's basketball coach Scott Cross, Chase Cross. Let's get right into the agenda today, boys, as I adjust the camera real quick because get about half of me. Oh, there we go. Oh, now we're on the charger. Hey, this is just wonderful. There it is.
Guy's first day.
It's my first day, obviously. Fix tab slowing my browser. The Nascar tab. Man, what's up with NASCAR? It happened to Luke too. Quick episode today. Well, I mean, quick agenda. We'll see how long it actually takes us. We can tend to get on some tangents. Cooler Bowl College Baseball World Series finale. Surprising which two teams are left. I mean, one side not so much, but the other absolutely. NASCAR picks at San Diego. Very cool race in San Diego this weekend at the Coronado Naval Base. We will give our picks for the three series that are running the road course there. World Cup talk. This is pretty much just a World Cup episode on this Thursday afternoon as we are watching the kickoff between Mexico and South Korea. Let's go Korea. And hot and not. Let's dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Cool or bull? And this is, I'm excited to see what Chaser especially has to say about this one. I forgot to remove.
This is
No. All right. Hold on.
Oh,
this is where
edging me.
the producer comes on a little clutch.
Yeah, for sure. Shit. Chill. All right, cooler pool. No one inside the top three of the FIFA World Rankings will win the World Cup. That is France, Spain, and Argentina. I think there are more threatening teams outside the top three that could win this World Cup that I would place my money on, like England, like Germany. I would even say the Dutch have a better chance. I would say the United States is looking strong to have a chance. I mean, I could see a wide array of teams making a run. I do not think, especially with the way this World Cup has gone so far, that it is going to be chalky enough to where a top three team in the world ends up winning the whole thing. I definitely don't think it's Argentina. Yes, they won well against Algeria. Messi looked great. However, it's an aging side. I don't think it's France. I still think they have internal issues they need to get figured out. They looked decent late against Senegal and was able to pour it on, but Senegal had their chances in that match. And I think Spain kind of speaks for itself if you've been keeping up with the World Cup. So, and they're just riddled with injuries. No one inside the top three of the FIFA World Rankings will win the Cup. Cooler Bull, Chase, and Luke.
Well, if we're basing this on just specifically the first round of the World Cup, I'd say it's cool.
I mean, it's not necessarily first round, basically. I mean,
then I'm gonna say B. I'm gonna say Bull. I just with the talent that are in Spain and France's squads, I can't discount those two teams yet. I mean, Argentina, I like that take, but because Messi's not going to score 3 goals every single game, so I don't think that they're going to go back to back. It's really hard to be a back to back champion, but first games of the tournament are kind of cagey. You never really know what you're going to get. I mean, we saw other tournament favorites like Portugal look not great. Netherlands was solid against Japan, but not great. Like, I mean, it's so hard to tell from the initial game. At the end of the group stage, if Spain still looks poor and France still looks shaky, then there's some legs to this argument. But, based off one game, I don't think that we can really say that, France and Spain won't be there. I agree with you with Argentina because of the aging squad. And I do think that there are some internal issues with France, but the fact of the matter is France has 3 Ballon d'Or level caliber players starting in their front line. So that means they have 3 players that could be the best in the world at any given moment. With Michael Olise, Ousmane Dembele, and Kylian Mbappe. Granted, Dembele did not look great against Senegal, but I still think that this France roster is it's the best roster we've ever seen. Maybe not ever seen, but this is the best roster we've seen in probably 20 years since 02 Brazil. in my opinion, just in terms of talent. And then when you look at Spain, Spain was missing Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams for a majority part of that game. Granted, looks like they're going to have trouble scoring goals this tournament. Lamine Yamal is their sole creator, and they were sending double and triple teams at them. I think it's probably time to. I love Oyarzabal, and I think he's played his role perfectly, but teams are starting to finally figure out that if you force Spain to cross, he's not going to get in on the crosses as a striker. So I think it's time to go to Broja Iglesias. But that being said, I still think that Spain will be in it at the end. But I think maybe a better take of this is that maybe the top three teams in the FIFA rankings maybe aren't the favorites anymore, and I would completely say that's a cool take.
Okay, Luke.
See, mine's gonna be a little less knowledge based, but I did see this thing. I'm gonna go. This is a cool take because I did see this thing that it's super hard for like teams that say go to the World Cup finals to repeat to both go back to the finals that same year, and that's already two of the top three. And then obviously, if Spain's, I don't know how long people are out for injuries, but if they're going to be injured, that's already all your three. So I'm going to go, this is a cool take just based off that reasoning because I saw Ryan Hammer talk about it.
Let's
So,
go 1 for
shout
1.
out.
I'll take it. Luke, what's your cooler bull?
So mine's going to be that the MLB All-Star voting needs to be changed. Now, I think that they should go to, so right now it's 100% fan voting. And you have guys like Alejandro Kirk for the Blue Jays who's played like 10 games and some other stuff like that. I think they need to go to a percentage sort of thing. You have a media percentage, a player percentage, and then the fan percentage. Because it's like in the NBA, it's the Zaza Pachulia rule, where his whole country voted him to the All-Star game. They need to have some sort of rule like that because it's all Blue Jays players. And obviously, I have a gripe because Jordan Walker is sixth in All-Star voting and arguably should be a starter. Like he should be third or fourth starter in the outfield. And if you look at his stats compared to Teoscar Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez is hitting 220 or 230. Walker's hitting 290, 300. I mean, it's so dumb because all your biggest fan bases, even Ronald Acuna, who's getting voted in right now, has not really had the greatest year ever. So I do think the All-Star voting for the MLB does need to be changed so you actually get the All-Stars into the game.
Yeah, this is completely cool. I completely agree. It should be the fan percentage vote should only be like 30%. I think it should be writers probably about 40 and players another 30%. I think it's an absolute abomination. Makes an abomination of the entire event. The way that fans are able to vote essentially the most popular teams, players into the All-Star game. It just they're not All-Stars, and it just takes away from dudes that really have earned the notion of being an all-star, and it hurts careers. It hurts Hall of Fame chances. So yeah, this is 100% a cool take. I'll keep it short and sweet. I mean, it's I think it's pretty cut and dry. Chase, cooler bull.
Completely cool take. I mean, I saw the fan voting, kind of the results coming in. It's complete BS. I mean, it's a travesty to the sport. I don't understand how we continuously let this happen across a lot of different franchises. But I mean, it's just a popularity contest at that point, and there's a lot of players that deserve to be in the MLB All-Star game. Like this season's been kind of funky where some of your top guys haven't performed as well, but they're still going to make an All-Star game just because they're a big name. So I think that's BS. Um, I don't love it at all. So I mean, I think this is a completely cool take.
Chase, I'm interested to see what is your cooler bull take.
Well, after watching Tuesday night, it hurts my soul and my heart to say this, but I genuinely, I, you can't say it any other way. I think Lionel Messi is the greatest soccer player of all time. I think he's far surpassed Maradona and Pele now that he has a World Cup when you look at his career accolades. And I think he's finally truly shown the levels between him and Ronaldo. Messi is continuously, over at least the last couple tournaments, shown up on the biggest stages where Ronaldo has not. Ronaldo did, obviously, in the Champions League, which he has that over Messi, but Messi has every other category over him. And I think just I mean, you can tell in the way they started this World Cup, Messi with three 3 goals, a hat trick to start the tournament, and Ronaldo putting in a pretty poor performance. So I think it's pretty clear to say that, unfortunately, Lionel Messi is the greatest soccer player of all time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bull here. I think it's Harry Kane. I'm
All
just
right.
kidding. It's a completely cool take. Yeah, I was a Messi over Ronaldo person in the first place. And I do agree after he got the World Cup, after at his age, able to net a hat trick in the opening game for Argentina in the World Cup, has surpassed him over some of the greats of the past. This is a completely cool take. I 100% agree, Luke.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cool too. For some reason, I will actually. Corey, one of my better friends, was a Ronaldo fan for some reason, so I was automatically a Messi fan, even though I didn't watch soccer, and he watched. I'm not gonna say watch soccer, but he watched a little more than I did. So I've always been a Messi guy. So I'm gonna go with complete cool take.
I know that was hard for
Been a
Chase to
Messi guy.
admit, so I appreciate that, Chaser. We have two finalists in the NCAA baseball tournament, the College World Series in Omaha. Oklahoma took down Georgia in just one game to qualify from that side of the bracket. North Carolina took care of West Virginia as well in just one game. So now we have a North Carolina all the bats and making some flashy plays in the field as well. Gentlemen, let's keep this short and sweet. Game predictions. I am going to go Oklahoma in 3. I just do not think you can cool off these Oklahoma bats. South Korea almost scored. What a keep off the back line by the defender. Yeah, I'm gonna go OU in 3. The SEC supremacy continues. Luke.
OU in 2. I hate North Carolina with a burning passion in my veins. Boomer Sooner.
Boomer and Sooner. Chase, let me guess. How many games is North Carolina going to win in?
Oklahoma's going to win in 3.
Oh.
I saw this team with my own eyes. They're absolutely red hot. They hit well. They hit really well situationally, which is so key at this time of the year. North Carolina absolutely steamrolled their side of the bracket, but I just think this Oklahoma team is playing so freaking good right now. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma in 3.
Wow, I am absolutely shocked by that.
I am too.
NASCAR,
Oh,
the Navy 250 heads first to San Diego at the Coronado Naval Base. It's gonna be a very cool event. Rarity here. We've got NASCAR Hall of Famer Jimmy Johnson running in the trucks in the one truck. So I'm going to roll with Jimmy here. He took a stab at IndyCar, has a lot of experience on road courses, was a good road course racer back when he was a full-time cup driver. They put him in a really fast truck. This one truck has been winning a lot of races. So with Tricon Garage. So I'm going to go with the one. Luke, you're going with his teammate.
Yeah, I'm going with Tanner Gray. It's just kind of a gut pick. I have no reasoning. He's 17th in the cup, so I don't know. Maybe. Hold on. What was the other? Have they raced?
Oh, they
already?
raced 2. They raced Watkins Glen.
I think they're 14th. Oh wait, no, we didn't.
And the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg.
Grand Prix. Oh God, I finished 20th. I got no idea. Yeah, that gut pick.
Chase.
I'm going with Lane Riggs here. He's ran really well in the Truck Series this year. I think he gets it done in San Diego.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
You forget his name.
Yeah, I'm good now. I think it's pretty unanimous here. In the United Rentals driven to serve 250 at the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Still at San Diego, the Coronado Naval Base. I'm going with the 19 here, guys. Brent Cruz plus 145 favorite to win this. Absolute demon on the road course is coming to the O'Reilly Series, to drive for Joe Gibbs. So I think the 19 is an absolute lock. Give me Brent Cruz. Luke, you agree?
Yeah, I'm fading Sheldon Creed because the only other time I've faded Sheldon Creed in this, he won. I want to see my boy win. I'm fading Sheldon Creed. If he wins, it would be a little bad, but also happy. So, yeah.
Chase, you also going with Cruz?
Yeah, Cruz is the odds-on favorite, I believe, to win this race. And you guys both went with him, so I had the luxury of picking third, so went with him as well.
And finally, in the Cup Series, we are all different for the Anduril 250, still at a race at the base. Pretty cool little moniker there. Well, it's a road course, guys. If you watch the pod or listen to it, you know who I'm picking. Shane Van Gisbergen. He is literally minus money favorite for this race for Team Trackhouse. So yeah, I think this is a pretty straight up SVG pick on a road course. He's an absolute road course demon. Luke, you're going with the 71 for Spire.
Yeah, Michael McDowell, he's done well on both the road courses this year, so I don't want to pick Ginsburg. Kind of go with Will, so let me go something different because I knew Chase was taking his guy. So
Yeah, Chase. Breaking news: you take the 45.
Yeah, he needs to get back on the on the podium. He hadn't finished well the last couple weeks. But you have to expect with this team in 23-11 being as elite as they've been through the first half of the season that Tyler Reddick is going to get back on the podium this week.
World Cup match days 6 6 through 7. Excuse me. Still the first game for on the 6th day. On the 7th day, we got into games 2. Chase, I mean, we had some absolute banger finishes, both in the gambling side and in the overall result side. So let's get right into it. Excuse me for having to clear my throat there. On Tuesday, I was trying to remember or yesterday or Tuesday that we.
Yep, Tuesday. So
yeah, on
this
Tuesday.
was. Yep. So starting off, Austria. I mean, only sickos watched this game. I can't lie. I did watch the first half before passing out. I was exhausted. Didn't make it through the full game, but Austria looked great. Ralph Ragnit's done a really good job constructing this team over the last 2 cycles. They performed really well at Euro 2024, and Ragnitz has them firing on all cylinders again. I kind of expected them to be a little tricky in this group for Argentina. I don't think that Argentina necessarily runs away with this group, given what we saw from them and how Austria looked. Jordan, kind of as expected, did score I believe is their first goal in the FIFA World Cup, though.
It was.
Yes, pretty cool for them.
I'm going to counter you. I think Jordan actually showed a little bit of offensive prowess in this match, especially in the first half. They were threatening time after time again against Austria. Now Austria was able to make some adjustments and completely shut down any sort of offensive threat from Jordan until they were able to net that first ever World Cup goal in the 50th minute. But I mean, it was a 1-1 game, Chase, heading into the 76th minute until we got an own goal by Jordan's own Al Arab, and then a penalty to net it off 3-1. I honestly, I was more impressed with Jordan than I thought I would be in this match.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm just saying from what I saw. I mean, it looked like Austria continued to their form over from Euro 2024, where they had pretty good attacking output, and they just find ways to win games. That's one thing this team, like, it's not always pretty, but they do always find ways to win games, and I thought that was pretty evident in this one. And then the one everybody's talked about, I think for the last, I guess since it happened, I guess it'd be 26, 28 hours. DR Congo tied Portugal, and honestly, in the second half of that game, DR Congo was the better team than a World Cup favorite. I mean, we could say, like, everybody was talking about Spain, Cabo Verde, but Spain was clearly the better team in that game. Can we really say that about Portugal versus DR Congo? I mean, I thought the Congolese looked great in the second half.
But for the last 40, I mean, as someone who had currency on Portugal to cover, I knew it wasn't going to happen because the DR Congo was constantly attacking Portugal's end. They had more total shots on towards the net. I was completely shocked by Portugal's inability to finish in that first half was absolutely crucial in terms of this result. And second, the DR Congo has some quick speed up front, and they are able to compete with some of these big dogs. I mean, I was absolutely shocked.
Well, DR Congo, I mean, Wissa, he plays in the Premier League, absolutely class striker. They've got some other Premier League guys with Juan Bissaka. Twenzabi used to play in the Premier League as well, so they do have talent on this DR Congo side. But, I mean, nobody was expecting this. I mean, Portugal's midfield is made up of the European champions. They've got one of the greatest players of all time up top, endless attacking options on the wing. Bruno Fernandes, the player of the season in the Premier League. Bernardo Silva, who just moved to Real Madrid. Like, this is an absolutely loaded squad, and it just looked disjointed a lot of the time. It just was not overly impressed with what I saw out of this Portugal side. Very disappointed because I thought this Roberto Martinez side was going to go handle business, but you got to give a ton of credit to DR Congo coming into Houston in an environment that was pretty much mostly Portugal fans and getting a result. So big time for them. I think the good news for Portugal, it's game one, like we talked about with Spain, like we talked about with some other countries that had, maybe shocking results in game one. It's the first game of a massive tournament. You could be playing 7 more on the way to the championship. This one's not going to define you. Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia in the first game last year, and we know how they ended up winning the World Cup. I mean, not last year, last tournament. And we know they ended up winning the World Cup. So I wouldn't freak out if I'm Portugal, but definitely cause for concern considering they didn't look fantastic in their friendly entering this tournament either. However, England-Croatia was a great
Future
game in the
World
first
Cup
half.
champs, baby. I mean, it
Oh
was
man,
absolutely, it was
England
utter
turned it on in the second
domination,
half.
dude. I, I,
In
I
the
just,
second half,
I
yeah.
disagree. I mean, I think yes, possession, and there were some chances early in the game, but these 2 goals from Croatia by Baturina and Musa were absolute world class goals. I mean, they were not a constant result of constant pressure. They were strikes from outside the box. I mean, they were absolutely gorgeous. But England, holy hell. Harry Kane with the penalty in the 12th minute after the goalie came off the line, strikes again with that beautiful header in the 42nd. Jude Bellingham comes out immediately in the second half and scores in the 47th. And then Marcus Rashford just to finish it off in the 85th. Chase, I don't know about you, but I am completely, well, I mean, at least in my pick, revigorated in my thrill for the 3 Lions squad. I mean, this team looked absolutely world class against a extremely quality opponent in Croatia, who was supposed to be their, top opposition in this group.
Yep. Completely agree. I still actually think that there can be some changes. Like, I think England could get even better from this performance. I thought,
I would like
honestly,
Bukayo Saka to get more minutes, to be honest
yep,
with you.
Saka's going to get healthy, and that'll make a big difference on the wing. I didn't think Madueke was fantastic. Obviously, not poor, but not fantastic. I thought Marcus Rashford was great since coming on. Expect him to start over Anthony Gordon on the left wing. Harry Kane up top was great. I thought Jude Bellingham was absolute class. I mean, he's always under so much scrutiny, but he looked great throughout most of the game. Declan Rice looked great in midfield. I mean, this England squad looked great. Croatia was honestly outclassed, and I agree. Petar Musa's goal, especially, was absolute class. But I mean, this England team just has so much talent, and judging off the first game, I would say they're a tournament favorite now. I mean, if they weren't already, I think they for sure have locked that up now. I mean, they looked good and they looked very focused. And I mean, when you've got Harry Kane up top that can score at the rate he can score at, I mean, anything's possible. Ghana Panama was actually a banger
I'm
of
about to
a
say, can I
game.
call this the most entertaining game
Yes.
so far?
Yes, oh, 100%. And the scoreline doesn't flatter it. I mean, there was so many chances for both teams to win this. I will say the Canal Boys actually outplayed Ghana. Ghana has a little bit more pedigree with Antoine Semenyo, but the Canal Boys came out and played really freaking good. The CONCACAF Federation usually gets a lot of hate for being pretty weak, but they've had some good performances. I mean, I know you can diss on Curacao, but they played well against Germany. The scoreline doesn't tell the results of that game. Haiti looked fantastic against Scotland. Panama obviously drove Ghana crazy. We just saw a 6-0 thrashing from Canada this morning. The United States and Mexico in their own right have looked great too. I mean, this is the best CONCACAF teams I think we've ever seen. But credit to Ghana for getting a late winner. They never gave up. These African teams, they just have a little bit of luck this year, it would seem. But this was a super exciting game and kind of didn't want it to end.
Yeah, me and Michael went absolutely nuts when Urinki buried that 90th plus fifth minute goal. I mean, it first off it cashed, a couple
That's what I
slips, which is why we were going so nuts. Luke, what did you take away from this Ghana Panama game?
I was kind of shocked at how Panama played. And they were also very big. I
Yes.
thought they had a bunch of super tall dudes for playing soccer. And I mean, Panama could be, whose group are they in?
They are in the group with England and Croatia, so it's gonna
Oh,
be tough. But
Well, Ghana is going to end up probably being that third place team, but maybe Panama could shake things up with an aging Croatia squad. I mean, you never know. So
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, Chase, walk us through this absolute 3-1 banger. And honestly, a slept on. This was closer than the scoreline tells, in my opinion.
Completely agree. Colombia did get the first goal, got the opener, and then after that, Uzbekistan had a lot of the chances until they got their goal, and it wasn't until late when Colombia finally scored again and finished it off with a late Luis Diaz goal. But honestly,
To cover, by the way,
to
from
cover, which I'm sure
Campaz, that cross header in the 90th minute of added time, Chase, you should have seen my reaction, dude.
I know. I mean, it was sick. I mean, I will say though, this Colombia team, I mean, Uzbekistan is ranked 50th in the world. This Colombia team is a team that is a lot of people's dark horses. Considering that they didn't look incredibly dominant against a pretty weak Uzbek side, little cause for concern. But they did win 3-1. They got the result, which is all that matters in this competition. So more power to them. But I thought this game was a lot closer than the scoreline told. But that late goal, I mean, great for bettors all across, the United States and the world who
100%. But
put a little wager on
did
that
did
game.
you watch this game?
I did.
I guess it'd be 102. Did you see the absolute screamer that Uzbek
Yes.
hit? Yeah, from
Oh,
off the
dude.
post.
Is that
I
would
thought
we say that's goal of the tournament so far?
no. That was a yes, that, but the one that went off the
Yeah,
post,
I saw
the
that.
Yes,
crossbar,
that too, yeah.
dude. I thought the -1.5 was about to dissipate a minute after the absolute electric header. But no, absolutely the Uzbek goal could be goal of the no, the Colombia goal could be goal of the tournament.
Yeah,
Um,
Colombia.
absolute just beautiful cross into the box. We finished off absolutely gorgeously. But let's talk about today's games, Chase. We've had 3 that have gone final, and this one is the one that just absolutely shocked me. I was stunned.
Mm.
I thought Czechia looked absolutely class against South Korea. They did not bring any sort of form into this game against South Africa, and I thought they were honestly
Nope,
dominated after the 10th
And
minute.
didn't South Africa
they
miss two
did.
of their best players?
They
'Cause
were
of red
missing 2
cards?
starters because of red cards.
Yep. I mean, I'll be completely honest, and I'm going to get to this in our hot or not. I was unable. This is my first day. I was unable to watch both of the morning World Cup games, and it killed me. So I was watching updates on my phone, and I saw that South Africa got a late penalty, and I saw the highlight. I ended up watching the highlights from it, and I agree. From what I saw, didn't look like Czechia really controlled the game like we anticipated to. Like when we were talking about him at our predictions last week or last episode, kind of expected Czechia to come in and control the game with the class, height, and size that they had, and the way South Africa kind of looked against Mexico. It's a little concerning. Um, kind of think, I mean, now the winner of tonight's game between Mexico and South Korea wins the group. So
Yes.
Czechia has put them in a really precarious position where they have to get points against Mexico if they want to go through. So um, I think that'll be a good game, but definitely was disappointed in South Africa. They're still in it. They're still alive after a terrible start to the tournament. They could realistically make it out of the group with a win against South Korea.
Yeah, and I think someone said South Africa was eliminated on the Cooler Bowl, which is
Yep.
yeah, which hey, who would have thought? Switzerland, I mean, again, I think the scoreline completely
Yeah.
misleading in this game. It was 0-0 until the 74th minute when Manzambi scored in the 74th. He also scored again in the 90th, but Vargas at the 84th, and Xhaka with a penalty in the 90th plus 7th. But we have to mention there was a red card for Murevic in the 80th minute. Bosnia able to score in the 90th plus third to make it 4-1. This game was very even in terms of chances and possession up until that first goal in the 74th and then the subsequent red card. Switzerland just kind of took away. Chase, what I've garnered from this is Switzerland a little shaky, but they're having an ability to finish games. What did you think from the Swiss squad?
I will say that Bosnia is still a good side. Like this is not a side to be kind of slept on because I do think this Bosnia side's good. However, I mean, I don't think this scoreline splattered the switch. I did get to watch the last 30 or so minutes of this game, and Bosnia had a couple of opportunities that were pretty good that they could have finished away. So, I don't want to say necessarily that Switzerland's bad because they are on 4 points, and it's looking like them and Canada are in pole position to go through in the group. But I mean, anything can happen. You got Bosnia playing Qatar, so I don't know. I liked what I saw from Bosnia today. I think that they could easily grab that third place spot like we predicted. And Switzerland, again, still looked pretty shaky, not as dominant as I expected they would be in this group.
And then finally wrapping up the day, Canada. I mean, the 7-1 scoreline in Germany cares. That was one thing. This was utter brutal domination from the time the whistle blew. Qatar had a couple chances early, and then Canada just took over, scoring the first goal in the 16-minute with Larin. Jonathan David with a hattie after not scoring in over a year for this Canadian side in the 29th, 45th plus third and stoppage, and 90th plus second, which kind of set off the Qatar coach. And then Saliba in the 64th with an own goal squeezed in between there. Now, granted, Qatar ended up playing with 9 men. They completely took out a Canadian player's leg. It is broken. He is done
Awful
for.
scenes.
Yeah, it was
Prayers
awful.
to Kone.
Yeah, prayers up for Kone. And I'll get into it for my hot knot, so I'm not going to touch on it now. But I'm optimistic about how this Canadian side was able to truly bounce back and dominate a game that they should have. But in the way they did, I mean, if you go on Foot Mob, Qatar had no momentum since the 8th minute, not a single ounce. Canada had 97 touches in the opponent's box with 32 shots. It was just I don't know if I've ever seen a World Cup game this lopsided. What did you take away?
I agree. Very lopsided performance from for both. I mean, I just didn't expect Qatar to get dominated like that from the opening whistle, and then when the red cards happened, I mean, you knew it was game over. Thought Jonathan David was great today for Canada, and I mean a 6-0 win for Canada's first ever World Cup win. Can't do much better than that. So hopefully, Canada can follow it up by making things interesting with Switzerland and getting out of this group.
100%. Luca, what did you take away from this Canada Qatar game?
This is the one of two games I was not able to
Oh,
watch.
damn.
So
Never mind.
I saw a little bits and pieces of the Bosnia game, but that was really it. I was at football.
Talking about the standings chase.
All right, so in Group A, we've got this was obviously done before adding in the round two results from today. So this is looking at it from a perspective of the games finished yesterday, not today. So we'll talk through the group standings after round one. So Group A, we've got Mexico and South Korea tied on 3 points. Mexico's in first place due to a better goal differential. Czechia is in third on no points, and South Africa is in fourth. We know Czechia and South Africa tied today, so that means Czechia and South Africa both, if they want to maybe grab a third place spot or finish second in the group, will have to get a result against Mexico or South Korea, respectively. Mexico or South Korea can win the group with a win tonight. So that's kind of the scenarios we're looking at for Group A. Switzerland all tied on points through round one. I mean, not Switzerland. Group B is all tied on points through round one. With Switzerland and Canada's dismantling of both teams today, looking like they will be finishing in first and second place, regardless of what happens in the Bosnia-Qatar game, unless something crazy were to happen just based off goal differential. But Bosnia could easily qualify as a third place seed if they are able to beat Qatar, and vice versa if Qatar is able to beat Bosnia. If they tie, I think it makes it a little bit tighter. But if one of those teams is going to win, they could qualify as a third place seed. And obviously, Switzerland and Canada are battling for that first place spot, Canada having the better goal differential. In Group C, Scotland is leading through the first game. Brazil, obviously, we know Brazil tied Morocco. I still would imagine Brazil and Morocco will go through in first and second, respectively. I think they have a little bit more quality than Scotland and Haiti, but Haiti looked good, and Scotland little shaky, but we know what they can do. They've pulled some big upsets before, and the Tartan Army is absolutely fantastic. One of the
Man of the
best
year.
traveling fan bases in the world. So, was definitely impressed with what they put forward. Group D, U.S. Is in first place, three plus three goal differential. Australia's in second place with plus two goal differential. Looking like that this game tomorrow is an even bigger game than we anticipated. If the U.S. wins and beats Australia tomorrow, they effectively win the group. I mean, there's like a 90-95% chance, unless some crazy stuff happens, they win the group. So it went from, a lot of people saying that the US wasn't going to win the group, that Turkey was going to win the group, and the US could potentially get grouped in this group, to the US winning the group before match day three, or round three, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, massive game tomorrow, and also a massive game for Turkey. If Turkey drops points, they're going to be in a lot of trouble heading into that game against the United States, where they could potentially get grouped. So, massive games tomorrow for Turkey and for the United States. In Group E, Germany's in first place after the dismantling of Curacao. Just they've been super technical all tournament, and coming to this tournament, just their finishing has been fantastic. But wouldn't necessarily say their play as an entire team has been great. Ivory Coast got the massive win over Ecuador. I think that sets them up really well to go through in this group. I do think that they can pull off a win versus Curacao, or at least get points, and maybe they can take points off of Germany. So Ivory Coast, I think, is primed to go through. Ecuador's got some work to do. I think they do beat Curacao, but then they're going to have to play Germany, and depending on how the Ivory Coast Germany game goes, that could be a really tasty match to see if Ecuador goes through. In Group F, Sweden on 3 points after they dominated Tunisia. I think Tunisia, after firing their coach, I mean, I think they're effectively a no pointer. I would bet a lot of money that Tunisia doesn't get a point in this group. So effectively, I think all three of these teams, like we've talked about before, Sweden, Netherlands, and Japan, all go through to the next round. I don't know the order yet. I think all three teams actually looked pretty good. Um, and we're just going to have to see who the ultimate ones that end up going through. In Group G, we've got, I mean, I didn't see this after the
Me
first
neither.
games. I thought Belgium was gonna kind of run away with this group, but Belgium didn't look great. I actually thought Egypt looked like the best team in this group through game one. New Zealand Iran was actually a banger of a game. Chris Wood looks great up top for New Zealand, and Iran, they're just playing with so much passion due to their misfortunes in this tournament. I think that this group is really all up in the air still. We'll have to see another match day to see really how this group's going to shake out. And then another one I think is still pretty cut and dry in terms of who's going to win the group. Spain's obviously still going to win this group, but do think that Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia are not easy outs, and I think Uruguay could have a little trouble with Cape Verde. And Cape Verde just could be another team that we see maybe finish in second or third and get out of their group. Was very impressed with their defensive fortitude and their goalkeeping. And then lastly, Group I think that it's pretty clear who 1 and 2 are. Norway and France looked fantastic, but I do think Senegal could maybe pull a sneaky result against Norway or beat Iraq, and they'll be able to qualify as that third place side. They looked really good against France, and just were not able to secure a result. Group J, Argentina is going to win this group. I think we've all seen that since the draw came out. Argentina is by far the clear favorites, but Austria did look good, and Jordan didn't look too bad. I'd like to see how Algeria and Jordan kind of play out, to see if maybe one of these teams could qualify as a third place team. Group K is, I think this group is not going to go how we thought it was going to go. Portugal effectively has to beat Colombia now if they want to win the group. I think that, I mean, I would expect maybe DR Congo could maybe pull a shock result against Colombia, but I'm not really convinced on that either. I think that Colombia looked solid enough against Uzbekistan to get a result against DR Congo. So if Portugal wants to win the group, they're pretty much going to have to win out. Second place will put them in a much tougher part of the bracket. And yes, you make it out the group, but you would like to have easier games heading into, the round of 16, quarterfinals of the tournament if you really have ambitions of winning it. And then Group L, Group L's decided. I think England's going to run away with this group. It's pretty clear, winning 4-2. I think neither Ghana nor Panama will really pose them much of a threat. It'll be
I
interesting to
agree.
see who finished. It'll be interesting to see who finishes second in this group, but I think this group is done and dusted. So we'll have to see what happens. A lot of games still left to be played, but I think the groups are kind of shaping up how we anticipated, and maybe in some cases a little surprising, but. We've got two more games to be played, so we'll have to see how everything shakes up after this next week.
World Cup picks starting off with match day on June 19th, which is tomorrow. We kick it off with our Americans facing off against the Aussies. I am going to go US 3-0. Give me a
Love it.
goal by Serginho Dest. I think this is going to be a very tight affair in the first half. I think the United States will be able to fatigue Australia late, maybe get a goal around the 40th minute, and we'll run away in the second half, make it 3-0. Michael, the producer, not here with us tonight, but he did give us his picks. He goes 3-1 for the Americans. Luke, how do you see this one going?
Yeah, with the style of play that Australia has, with them sitting so far back and playing so heavily defensively, I think this will be a good 2-0 win. I don't really see them scoring more than two. I think what I saw, this could be wrong, but the USA is mainly going to have to capitalize on the counterattack. And if they do that, they can easily get up 3-0. But I do think with Australia's defensive level, it'll be 2-0.
Chase.
This one is a tricky one because I've been a U.S. men's national team fan since birth, and I know how we do. We get a really good result, and I'm not going to say this is the same team because this is a different team, a different staff, a different pool of players. But we tend to have a drop off game after we have a fantastic performance, and the buzz is there. There is so much for the taking right now for the United States. Momentum, status, or like all of it. They can literally, this next game can decide the fate of US soccer in America. If we win our group in the fashion that how we played last Friday and we replicate it, the buzz is going to be here. We already had the most watched men's soccer game on Fox last Friday. That I mean, I the hype is building. A lot of people watched that game and watched the result, and watched how we played. So if we go out and dominate Australia, like I hope we do, I mean, soccer fever is going to hit the United States, and we're going to have. I mean, we're going to have like it's just going to change the landscape of soccer in the United States, which would be absolutely fantastic. I think we're a lot more talented than Australia, being completely honest. I think we are a lot more talented than them. However, I think Australia executed a perfect game plan against Turkey. Turkey did miss a ton of chances, to be fair. They had a lot of opportunities to score, they had a lot of chances, and they just kind of fluffed their lines and missed a lot of easy opportunities, hitting the post, hitting like skying balls that they probably should have scored on. So, that being said, I think if we're gonna have a lot of the ball, we'll have 75% of the ball, I'd assume. We're gonna pass a lot. They're gonna hit us on the counter attack. I think that's where we are most vulnerable coming into this tournament. So I think Pochettino's gonna have a good plan for it. We've seen how they want to play. I don't think that they're going to surprise us in any sense. So I'm going to go 2-0 United States. Not as dominant of a showing as the game against Paraguay, but a good enough game to get it done and get us to the point where we've almost clinched first place in our group.
Next up, we have Scotland and Morocco. I'm going 2-1 Morocco here. I do think the Scots score first, frankly, and I think Morocco's class will take over. I think this is a very impressive Moroccan side. We saw that out against Brazil. I think this is actually a weaker Brazil team than most people would like to give credit for. However, I just think Morocco is just straight up better than Scotland, and that will come to fruition. Michael has it as a 2-2 draw. I like the optimism. I'm definitely rooting for Scotland, but I just see it going Morocco's way. Luke, how do you see it?
Yeah, we got 2-0 Morocco. I think they played pretty well against Brazil. I was impressed with them, and I think this is a big World Cup for some of the African nations. So,
Chaser.
This is a really tough one because I wanted to pick Scotland so bad because I just love the Tartan Army. I love everything that they've got going for them. But I just don't think they looked too good against Haiti, and I think Morocco defended really well against Brazil and actually attacked well too. I don't think Morocco scores a ton, but I do think they score two, and I think that their defense is going to be too much for a Scotland team that didn't look like they could really break down a mid to low block. So I've got Morocco winning this 2-0.
I've got now. Okay, my bad. Brazil versus Haiti. I've got Brazil 3-1. I think Brazil is going to be able to get a little bit more informed to maybe how they were expected to perform pre-tournament. I do think Haiti was very impressive against Scotland. However, in my mind, I can't figure out if that was more Haiti or if it was more Scotland. So I'm erring on the safe side of things here, saying that Haiti will net one in the back of the net. However, I think Brazil will do enough offensively to get three. Give me 3-1. Michael, the producer, has it 3-0. Luke, you had this as a tight affair.
Yeah, I think this is another letdown game from Brazil. They do end up winning, but I think it's only 1-0.
Chase.
Um, this one's another tricky one because, like you said, Haiti did look good, and I really have not thought Brazil has looked great. Brazil struggled with Egypt in the friendly leading up to this game. I don't think Ancelotti has the lineup right, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think Igor Thiago fits the system at all. He just doesn't have a touch up top, and if you're leading the line like these creative players need somebody to connect to. Like Vinny Jr.'s got to have people to pass to. Rafinha's got to have people to pass to. I actually thought that, Luis Enrique, when he came on, looked fantastic. Cunha held up the ball well up top. I would love to see Endrick play too. I think he needs to start. He scores a lot of goals for Brazil and timely goals. And I think, if he's going to play Paqueta, Casemiro, and Bruno G, I just don't think that that's going to work. So I would say that they probably need to come out with a different lineup, a little bit more attacking lineup, and maybe they'll do that since, they're favorites in this matchup, and I expect Brazil to win 2-0 if that's the case.
Turkey against Paraguay, I kind of see this as a little bit of a matchup of chaos, given one, Turkey is going to be playing with a lot of desperation to try to score. I think Paraguay will be able to counterattack decent against this Turkey team who had problems against that with Australia. I've got it going 5-2. I think this can be a very offensive affair that is a lot of chaos, and I think Turkey kind of nets two towards the end to make it 5-2. It just being an overall really exciting game to watch. Michael has it 2-0 Turkey. Luke, how do you see it?
Yeah, with a bunch of people before the tournament picking Turkey to win our group, I think this is going to kind of be a bounce back game. They now see we have got to beat them because, you've got to win so they can maybe get third place and maybe they can get a good result against the U.S. I don't know. So they're kind of in not panic mode, but a little bit of a desperation mode. So I think they win emphatically 3-1.
Chase.
I agree. I think this is a desperation game for Turkey. I think that they're gonna struggle to score again. I think that's gonna be a big issue for them. But that being said, they have too much talent and too much class. I think Kenan Yildiz is beginning to return from his injury. I expect him to start. I think this front three for Turkey is going to look a little bit different. Arda Güler was not great against Australia. I expect him to have a bounce back game. And I think that, Paraguay is going to make it tough for them. I don't think that they are as dominant. They won't get dominated like they did against the United States. I think that they're going to, for pride and just for bounce back reasons, I don't think that Turkey will have as much of a way with them as the United States did. So I'm going 2-1 Turkey.
Netherlands versus Sweden in a huge match for who's going to top the group on Saturday. I have the Dutch taking this away in an absolute thriller. Love their size, love their ability to play it into the box, both on set pieces and from the corner. Give me 3-2 to the Dutch. Michael has it 3-1 to the Dutch. We'll keep on the Dutch train first. Chase, you like the Dutch in this matchup?
I do. I think that, Sweden looked good, but I think it was also a product of who they're playing. Tunisia was awful. They were absolutely horrific. Um, I I don't know if I trust a team that struggled a lot in qualifying to really come in and dominate a team that looked really good in their opener. I think Ronald Koeman saw the level drop off when he subbed off Gakpo and Somerville in the Japan game. I don't think he makes that mistake twice. I think Netherlands are a little bit more defensively sound than Sweden. I think Netherlands are going to have more of the ball. They may not score in the first half like we saw them struggle to kind of break through Japan, but I do think the Netherlands score, and I think Netherlands win it 2-1. But I do think that this is going to be a very exciting game, and I'm really excited to watch this one.
Luke, going with the Swedes.
Yeah, I think you have to have a few upsets personally, and I think this is kind of a spot. Sweden did look good, even though they played a very terrible team. But I still think this kind of could be maybe the means of an upset. So I've got them winning in a thriller, scoring super late, 3-2.
All right. Moving on over to Germany versus Cote d'Ivoire. I have the Germans just kind of scoring two and cementing themselves defensively to keep it 2-0. Cote d'Ivoire looked good against Ecuador, but was unable to capitalize offensively until late in the game. I think the Germans neutralized this effect and win 2-0. Michael has it 3-0 to the Germans. Luke, you're going with an outright Cote d'Ivoire win.
Yeah, I think the Ivory Coast is going to pull off. These are my two upsets on the same side, but I think they're going to pull off a shocker against Germany. They looked really athletic. That's kind of the only reason I'm thinking of. They were really fast on the edges, and I mean, Germany obviously looked insanely good, but I just got a feeling about the sort of Ireland flag. I mean, being there, so give me the Ivory Coast 2-1.
A draw for you, Chase.
Okay, hear me out here. I think Germany's been super clinical. However, I didn't think they looked like play style ways played Curacao that great. They finished extremely well and they've been super clinical, but I thought Curacao was in the game for a large portion of that match. I mean, at least the first 40 minutes. And then watching the United States play them a week prior, I thought the U.S. actually outplayed Germany. They've been more clinical, but I think that there's going to be some stuff here for Cote d'Ivoire in this game. I really like Yan Diomande. I think he was the most impressive player from round one. He didn't score and didn't assist, but man, he was just blistering on that right wing. I think Amad Diallo has been red hot. This is a Cote d'Ivoire team that did beat France in the friendly heading into this tournament. So, I mean, they have experience beating the biggest and best teams. I don't think that they're going to necessarily win because I think Germany will probably tie in this match, but I think Cote d'Ivoire is going to be one of those teams that could make a run in this tournament. And I think they started off by pulling a shock result and getting a point against Germany.
Ecuador faces off against aforementioned Curacao. I think Ecuador gets back on the right track of things another kind of way like Turkey. They need win and they need goal differential. Curacao did play Germany well technically. However, they allowed a lot of finishing. I give it 3-1 Ecuador. Michael has it 2-0. Y'all are both in agreement here on the scoreline as well, gentlemen. Luke and then Chase.
Yeah, I think Curacao looked really pretty good against Germany, and I kind of think they're hungry to get that first win. Now, I don't think they'll do it, but I think they'll still keep this thing close, and it'll be 1-0 for Ecuador.
Chase.
I mean, I think it's crazy, like that we're honestly saying that Curacao actually looked good losing 7-1. But I mean, I was sitting there like granted in the second half they kind of let it get out of hand, but I thought they played with the Germans pretty well, and maybe if they sat back a little more, they would have pulled a result for that game. But I like their style of football, and I think that that kind of translates against Ecuador. Ecuador has really, really struggled to score as of late. They have the old timer Inter Valencia up top that just hasn't really got it done for them in this last cycle. I think that they struggle to score against Curacao again. I think Ecuador does end up winning, but this is not like this is a good defensive side, but this is not a side that's going to go out and score goals. And so I don't expect this one to be a blowout. I think it's going to be tight and pretty cagey throughout. And I think Ecuador gets a later winner, maybe not a late one, but like a 60th minute, 70th minute winner for Ecuador.
Tunisia against Japan. I think this one's pretty cut and dry. This Japanese team is amazing defensively. I do think Tunisia does get one in the net. However, I have it 3-1 in a very dominant fashion for the Japanese. Michael has it 2-1. Luke, you think it's a clean sheet?
Yeah, 3-0. They will do unholy things to Tunisia.
And Chase, you have it as a blowout as well.
I thought Japan actually looked pretty good against
Yes,
the
I agree.
Netherlands
They
going
did.
forward. And Tunisia is missing their coach that they brought into this tournament. The federation's completely lost. They've gone through 5 coaches in the last 4 years. I mean, just ungodly things like that. That's ridiculous, especially for national team coaches who are with their players 1/12 out of the year. So I don't think Tunisia is going to have a good tournament. they're going to get blown out by Japan, and then they're going to get blown out um, by Netherlands. I mean, I feel bad for the players and for the nation of Tunisia, but it's gonna get ugly, especially when you fire a coach during a tournament. Hervé Renard is a good manager, but I just don't expect them to really do anything. Like he has no time with his team. I mean, he has 4 days to get him prepared to play a really good Japanese side. So I think Japan wins pretty convincingly in this one.
Spain against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I was impressed with how Saudi Arabia played, especially in the first half against Uruguay. I do think Spain is able to bounce back, though, finish a little bit better against the Saudi Arabian side, knowing the how big of a match this is for them. Give me 2-1 Spain. Michael has it 3-1. Luke, you're on the same page as me.
Yeah, I don't know the injury report, but if they're still going to have some strikers out, I think they'll end up winning and edging out of Saudi Arabia. But I do think it'll be close. So, I mean, we can't overlook the Cape Verde game. So, I mean, I think it'll be 2-1 for Spain.
Chase, you think this is a dominant win for the Spaniards?
I do. I think the Spaniards bounce back. They typically have a track record of doing this where that they'll maybe drop the opening game like Spain in 2010 when they won the World Cup. They lost the opening game to Switzerland. So I mean, it's kind of the same vibe. I think the Spanish side is really good. I think that the struggles to finish by Ferran Torres are going to be rectified if Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams start this game or get more minutes in this game. I think Saudi Arabia, especially in the second half against Uruguay, looked completely gassed. We're really struggling to finish, and this game's here in Atlanta. There's a ton of Spain fans here. I've seen them all over town. Um, so it's clearly going to be a Spanish crowd. It's going to be rocking, and I just don't expect them to drop points again. I think Spain's going to come out dominant, and De La Fuente is going to have his guys rolling. So I'm going Spain 3-0.
Belgium against Iran. I think this Iranian side looked a little shaky against New Zealand. I think the Belgians looked a little shaky against Egypt. However, who's more quality of the two sides? It would absolutely be Egypt. Give me Belgium 4-2. I think Kevin De Bruyne gets a brace here. Nets 2 for the Belgians to get Belgium on top of the group, as you will see later. Michael has it 2-1 Belgium, as do the rest of y'all, Luke and Chase.
Yeah, I think Belgium's just going to win a tight one versus Iran. I think they have a little more to prove with the whole political climate that's been going on, especially in the U.S. So I'm going to go 2-1 Belgium.
Chase.
This one was a really tricky one for me because I did not think, like, if you asked me this question 3 months ago, I would have had Belgium 4-0. But watching what Belgium did against an inferior Egypt side, like, if you look at that Belgium roster, like, they have class all over the pitch. And did not look like it gelled well. And there's something about Belgium, like they play well in friendlies, they play well, when it's not as important. But in these major cup competitions, as of late, ever since they had that deep run to the semifinals in 2018, they've just looked poor in these major tournaments. And I think that continues. I don't think that Iran loses this game, but I don't think Belgium's super convincing. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win here. And I'm going to say, if they keep Lukaku on as a sub, like keep bringing him on as a sub, I think Lukaku gets the game winner for Belgium.
Uruguay against Cape Verde. I am going to go 1-0 Uruguay. They were completely dominant in the second half against Saudi Arabia. Cape Verde's defense was impeccable against España. However, I do think Uruguay will be able to net one in the back of the net late against a solid Cape Verde squad. This could be a very entertaining 0-0 game until the end. Give me 1-0 to Uruguay. Michael agreed with me going 2-1. Chase, I'll go to you first. Do you think this is a 0-0 draw?
Okay. Wouldn't have said this before the tournament, but there are just some teams that, the vibes are high and they get results. Cape Verde, I think, will probably have the same approach against Uruguay that Spain had. And what makes this so much more difficult for Uruguay is I think they struggled to beat a pretty open Saudi Arabia side, especially in the second half. They just don't have finishing up top. Darwin Nunez hasn't done it, and they really don't have that elite striker anymore that they'd had in years past with Diego Forlan and Luis Suarez. So I think that they struggle to score in this one. I don't think Cape Verde gets a goal either, but I think that this ends up in a 0-0 draw and maybe setting up Cape Verde to maybe pretty cool upset against Saudi Arabia and get them through to the knockout stages.
Luke, you think the pretty cool upset happens
I,
here?
I do. I do think this will either be a 0-0 draw or a 1-0 win for Cape Verde. I think we get an absolute miracle of a screamer late in the game. I just was not impressed with Uruguay in their first game. And I mean, you did tie the Spaniards, who are a top team in the world. I don't see why you can't go get a goal in this next game. So
Last day on Sunday, New Zealand faces off against Egypt. I thought this was an uninspiring Egypt side against Belgium. They had opportunities that they were not able to take advantage of. However, who I did think was inspiring from New Zealand who was a young man by the name of Elijah Just, 21 years old. Just, excuse me, I forgot they are in New Zealand. 21 years old, scored netted two against Iran. I think he gets another one here, but give me Wood to get another one to make this a 2-2 draw, getting both these teams to 2 points. The rest of y'all have Egypt. Michael has it 2-1. Luke, you have it 1-0.
yeah, I think Egypt will end up getting a bounce back. And I just kind of think with New Zealand, how they played, I think they look somewhat impressive. I think Egypt will just, with the more star power, will end up just getting a goal at some point, probably before the half, and winning the game.
Chase.
I agree. I thought Just was great. I thought Chris Wood was great for New Zealand. Kind of surprised me considering that this is not a side that I thought was going to do anything. But I actually thought Egypt looked like probably the best team in this group. I thought Omar Marmoush looked really dangerous up top. Mo Salah is always going to add pedigree, and I didn't think Egypt looked terrible against Brazil either. So that's two top sides that they've looked solid against. I think Egypt gets the win here, and I'm going 2-1.
Finally, on Monday, since we will record on Tuesday, we have Argentina against Austria, effectively for the group. I think this is an absolute banger of a match. Lionel Messi is the game winner, 3-2 for Argentina. Michael has it 3-1. So do you, Luke.
Yeah, I don't think this group is very good. I think Argentina should run away with it, and I think they'll get a 3-1 victory here.
Chase, you're kind of contradicting yourself by saying this is Argentina's group to win. You're going with the draw.
It is. It is. I mean, I think Argentina, I mean, if you look on goal differential, even if they draw on this one, they still have a 66 to 70% chance of winning this group. I just think from what I saw, not that Argentina didn't look great, but it was Algeria. And outside of Lionel Messi brilliance, Argentina didn't have a ton of teeth in the attack. Austria, same thing, had to get a little lucky late against Jordan. I think this game's pretty cagey. It's going to be physical battles in the midfield. I think it finishes 2-2. This has draw written all over it for me.
France against Iraq. I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page here. I have 4-0 France. Could be worse, but I'm being a little generous. Michael has 4-1. Luke, you also think the Iraqis net one in?
Yeah, I hate France, so I'm not giving my real score prediction. I want them to do as poorly as possible because I have a future on Norway, which is why they're the next game.
Chase, you think they run away with the goal differential here?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a disgusting game. I think what ended up happening at the end of the Senegal game is kind of telling for how France is going to come into this one. It looked like they finally had some stuff click for them. Michael Olise's passing when they moved him into center midfield and moved Barcola to the wing and subbed off Dembele, I think changed the game. Olise's passing was on full display, and I think the pace up top is going to be too much for Iraq. Iraq fell apart in the second half. I think this game could be maybe 2-1, 3-1 at halftime. But if you watch that Norway game, they completely disintegrated in the second half. Norway dominated. I think France can run away with this one, and I think Mbappe is going to keep scoring. I mean, he started off with a brace. I think he keeps scoring and keeps going because he's going to want to take that all-time title.
Norway versus Senegal. I have it 3-1 Norway. Give me an Erling Haaland hot trick just for shits and gigs. Michael also has it 3-1. Luke, you have it 4-0.
Yeah, I need the goal differential for the future. So Erling Haaland's going to get at least two into the back of the net, and they're going to beat Senegal 4-0.
Chase, I'm shocked. You think this is a draw?
I do. Let me explain. I like this Norway team a lot. In the first half, though, they let up a ton of chances to a really poor Iraq side, which is cause for concern. However, I do think Senegal looked good enough against the United States and good enough against France to warrant that maybe they pull a draw here. I think they have some class up top. They have some pace. I think it's going to cause issues for the defense of Norway, but I also think when you have Erling Haaland up front, that's going to cause so many problems for Senegal. I think Erling Haaland scores again, but I do think this ends in a draw 2-2.
Jordan against Algeria. This is a potentially huge matchup to see if one of these teams can come in third and get through. I actually thought Jordan, like I said, was decently impressive against Austria. I thought Algeria was a complete wash against Argentina. So I'm going to go 2-1 Jordan here. Michael has it 1-0 Algeria. Luke, you go with a draw.
Yeah, got to throw a draw in here at some point. I think these are two subpar teams, so I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
Chase, you think Algeria takes it done?
Yeah, I didn't think Jordan looked at. I thought Algeria played Argentina better than Jordan played Austria, especially in the closing stages of that match. I think Algeria probably could have pulled an upset early on, but honestly, I think I'm going to go with Algeria 2-1 here, and also Mexico just scored.
Oh, you are a little bit ahead of us. That is incredible. Um, World Cup power rankings. Let's see it.
Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's horrible.
That should be a foul.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
I'm confused. The goalie's got it.
Yeah, that should be a foul. Let's see the
VAR.
replay. Let's see the replay.
Can VAR step in?
Nah, I don't think so.
That's ridiculous. All right, World Cup power
That's
rankings from what we've
ridiculous. That's
seen.
horseshit.
Germany, obviously 7-1 win over Curacao. Very good finishing from the Germans. I've got them in first. England, I thought honestly could be first here as they played a way more impressive side in Croatia. We're completely dominant. I have them in second. Argentina on the back of Lionel Messi looked absolutely wonderful in third. The U.S. is a team that I'm very high on, even I am American, but I thought we're absolutely world class against Paraguay. I've got them fourth. And then South Korea, which is kind of contradictory right now. I have been fifth. I thought they were absolutely wonderful against Czechia, especially on the counterattack. I was kind of big on them coming into this Mexico match, but I had South Korea in fifth. Luke, tell me about your power rankings.
I got Germany in one. I think England looked really good, so they're going to be my two. Argentina is going to be my three. Obviously, American. I'm going to keep them at four, and then I'm going to glaze Erling Haaland. So I'm going to get Norway at five. Drop the ball.
Chase.
All right. Well, I think we can all agree Germany, has finished fantastically through the first game. I mean, scoring 7 goals is no easy feat. Didn't play fantastic, but when you score 7 goals in a World Cup match, you're going to be at the top of the power rankings. Argentina at 2. The only reason I have them ahead of England is they kept the clean sheet and Messi was fantastic. At 3, I have England. I think the 3 Lions, probably out of the top 3 teams that I just named here, probably has the best chance to win this tournament. I think that they'll continue to impress over the next 2 matches where we can see these other 2 teams peter off. I've got France at 4. I thought they still looked good against Senegal, especially in the second half. First half, a little cagey, definitely worrisome, but getting 3 goals in the second half, and Mbappe looks like he's back on form, looked fantastic. And then the United States, I think that we kind of showcased like through the tournament, like you've seen teams like Portugal, Spain not look great through the first game of competition. The United States came out on fire. If they follow it up with a great performance against Australia, I will even move them up even higher on this list. I'm really excited to see what this American side can do.
Finally, we ended up with who's hot and who's not. My hot is the underdogs. It has been it's been a year of the underdog. We have Oklahoma, the ultimate underdog in the College World Series. We had Justin Gagey beat Hilliard Taporia. And we've had teams like Cape Verde and the DRC get results. It's been the year of the underdog. My underdogs are hot. My not is Qatar, and I alluded to this earlier in the episode. They did lose 6-0 to Canada. These teams of lesser class, and when I say class, like quality, talent, they are way too reckless in challenges when it comes to these cup competitions. And we saw that exemplified today with the injury that occurred to the Canadian player. I thought it was absolutely abysmal. It was appalling, and I'm truly upset. One for Kone, that I mean he's going to be out for a very long time, compound fracture. So Qatar is my not, but it kind of goes for any sort of lesser team trying to make up for a lack of talent in this game. Not exactly a physical game, with just reckless tackling. Luke, what's your hot not?
My hot's gonna be cramps. So we had practice today and we got put inside because of the rain. So made them do some wall sits. Had two kids cramp. Had one of them crying. It made me smile. I was so happy.
You're an
And,
evil person.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it was the funniest thing ever. So made the trainer do some work today. So I made sure she was getting paid her worth or whatever with getting her work done. So it was so fun. I was trying to get a third one, but I was unable to. So, but that's my hot, and then my not. Since practice got rained out, whenever I go, I put my boots in my like the bed of my truck because I don't want my car to smell, and it rained, so they're all wet, and I really don't want to go to work in sopping wet boots. So we're gonna see how it goes tomorrow.
Chase, what's hot and not?
Well, U.S. plays tomorrow. I'm super pumped. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Super hyped to see what the boys can do tomorrow. I've been waiting all week for this game, to be honest. Since last Friday, I've been just dying to, like, I planned my whole week around it. I'm so excited to watch the boys play tomorrow. This is my probably my favorite team across any sport. I mean, I love the U.S. men's national team, so I'm so pumped to watch them play tomorrow, and hopefully we can go get a dub. Then my not is work. As you guys know, I think I've kind of told you, I've been GAing here at Georgia Tech for a couple weeks now, and let's just say I had a 14-hour day today, which was not ideal. Then I wasn't able to watch any of the World Cup games to start with, and wasn't on my phone. I had 26 minutes of screen time before I got home for dinner. So rough day today. Not in terms of what, like, it was a good day, but just a long day at work, and I'd like to be compensated a little bit more if I'm gonna do 14 hours days.
Yeah,
But
for sure. Well, that'll do it for episode 70 of Swiss Army Sports. Tune in on Tuesday when we break down this weekend's action. Until then, have a good night.